Travelling to my sites, working my bees.
G'day, my name's Alan Teskey. My main aim in beekeeping is to experiment and to obtain as much honey from the hives as possible.
When I met Alan through my local beekeeping club, I knew nothing about bees.
This particular site is being developed in the next couple of months. And these two particular hives here, I am ready to euthanize. This is H12. As you can see, the hive is very populous. There are an enormous amount of bees in the hive, but the problem is that it's got disease.
The bees have to be killed,
so it has to be irradiated to put it back in line with the rest of my hive so I can extract them at will.
When checking brood frames, always get in the habit of looking for disease. This can save heaps of time, and disease can be picked up much more quickly. The first thing to look for when glancing over the brood is small pinholes in the capped brood.
As can be seen here, there are perforated cells have AFB disease.
After the bees have been killed, the hives are taken to the radiation plant for irradiation, and then they are sterile, ready to be reused again.
There's one cell in the centre there that's been opened. There are quite a number of cells on this particular hive that have AFB disease. The first thing you look for when you're looking at your brood is looking for discoloured cells and sunken cells. You see where those sticks are? They're all different colour and they're sunken. Then we move over to the right. There's one that's been perforated in the centre that's got disease, and there's another one to the right that has just started to be taken. The capping is starting to be taken off.
The bees are checking to see if there's anything wrong with that particular cell.
This is just one particular frame that I've taken out to show you. Even though the bees are very populous, the hive has disease, and if you use these frames or honey or whatever in another hive, you'll transfer the disease.
It is imperative that no test items such as sticks etc. are thrown on the ground for other bees to rob.
The stands are now empty, and the two hives are ready to be euthanized tonight. In a couple of days' time I'll come back and wash down the stands with a very strong solution of bleach and let them dry, and then they'll be ready to return to the new sites for the new supers and new beehives.
When I met Alan through my local beekeeping club, I knew nothing about bees.
Well folks, this is my diseased site. I've been talking to a lot of professional beekeepers, and they also inform me that they have a diseased site. For when they get disease, they bring it to the site, which isn't generally a good honey producer. This particular site is being developed in the next couple of months. And these two particular hives here, I am ready to euthanize. The queens will be saved so that I can put them back in my nukes. I've been saving queens from diseased hives for the last 18 months, and it's been well worthwhile. When first working the hives, I use a pair of gloves until I find the queen on the cage, and then I take the gloves off to pick the queen up. This is all honey, this particular one. A little bit of brood on this side here. Again, you can see the indents of the cells where AFB disease is. I remove the frames and look for the queen and separate the frames so it makes it easier. She should be marked, so we'll have a look here to see if she's marked. Yes, there she is, and she's marked. So we'll turn the frame around so that I can get to it. Because of the grooming of the queen is not prone to disease. There she is. So I'll now pick her up and put her in a clean queen cage and then put her in a nucleus hive or any other hive that I want to use it for. My hands are clean. She's a lovely big queen. There she is. So I'll now put her in a queen cage. I've now put the queen from H12 in this clean queen cage with clean bees from another hive, ready to put into one of my nukes or any other hive. This is H12. As you can see, the hive is very, very propolis. There are an enormous amount of bees in the hive, but the problem is that it's got disease. So it has to be irradiated to put it back in line with the rest of my hive so I can extract them at will. This is just one particular frame that I've taken out to show you. Even though the bees are very propolis, the hive has disease, and if you use these frames or honey or whatever in another hive, you'll transfer the disease. All the honey supers have now been removed from the hives. The queens have been found and caged, and now I'm going to blow all the bees out of the honey supers. There's one particular honey super ready for the bees to be blown out and put on trays. There's some more honey supers. All the bees that are blown out will go straight back to the hives. That's one of my homemade excluders, and there's the sterilised gloves that I removed before I caged the queen. This is the first lot that I've blown out, and you can see the bees moving around, and then they'll congregate back in front of the hives. See, I have put the honey supers on special trays with paper, and then they are sealed so no bees can get into them and no honey can get out. The supers are now being put onto the vehicle, and they will be extracted. After they are extracted, the equipment will have to be really washed down with hot water and soap. The diseased, any material that's diseased will be, or has been, put in this particular bag for transfer to the transfer station. Today's episode is checking this super. It's been here for just over 12 months and hasn't been opened since it was irradiated. So I'm now going to take it outside and we'll open it up and see what it's all about. Just follow me out. Right, you can stop it there and then I'll just get the radiation there.
Yep. So Alan, that's just over a year that you've had that stored like that.
Yep.
So once you actually take it out of the wrapping, how long until you really need to get it into a hive?
As long as it's sealed, it could stay there another 12 months.
Okay.
Just that I've taken half a pallet of stickies up to the radiation plant because the dearth has already started, and I don't have to go into every frame in every super every 7 days. For me to check wax moth grubs every 7 days. Humongous amount of work. As you can see here, the stickies are still sticky. There's no mildew or anything else on them. And that's 12 months that they've been in this particular sealed up super.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. That's for sure.
All frames were inspected and all were the same. There's no wax moth, grub or small hive beetle in these frames.
So you do that every year when the dearth comes in?
Yeah, when the dearth comes in at the end of autumn, when the honey doesn't come in as much for winter. We always do all the supers ready for the new season just before winter.
Excellent.
And they're ready to go as soon as, because 9 times out of 10 it's middle of winter when my Italian carniolan bees start to increase in bee numbers. What I'll do is I'll just hang on. Right, so here's some paper that I put on top of the supers. The super is totally sealed around the perimeter and on the sides. Paper goes on. One of my escape boards.
And then you just put that on the back of the truck and use the stickies as we go around from site to site?
Yes.
And what vintage is that newspaper, Alan? 1999?
Yeah, 1999 yet, not out. So there you can see that it's a lot easier to lift your supers by the handles.
Yeah.
And everything's together. It's totally sealed, so it doesn't matter how long I leave this super now. It's been 13 months since it was used, and for all intents and purposes, it could be another 12 months before I use it.